As Iowans, we are resilient. We are determined. We are committed. And we are strong. As Iowans, our strength grows when we empower one another. Iowa State University Extension and Outreach delivers education and information based in research for your reality. Because when you are strong, we all are strong. Here for you, now, always.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Tips from an Expert today. We are going to be talking about remote work. I've got a friend with me that will be giving you some just basic overview information that's going to help you learn more, advocate for working remotely, and then give you some information on an amazing course that we are offering to prepare you for remote work or to add to the remote work you're already doing. So I'm going to bring on today's specialist, Brenda Schmitt. Let me add you to the stream, maybe. There we go. And I got to unmute you.
Thanks.
I'm the button clicker today, so I'm multitasking. So Brenda, give us a brief overview, who you are, what you do, and what you're going to talk about today.
I am a human sciences specialist with Iowa State University Extension and Outreach, and I serve as a state coordinator for the Remote Work Certificate course. And I'm going to talk about some statistics, which might surprise you because it surprised me when I was looking it up. And then I'm going to talk about ways to negotiate with maybe your employer to turn your current job into a remote job. And then I'm going to talk about some of the important things about balancing your workspace when you're working from home. And then lastly, I'll talk about our course that we have available every month except July and December. So,
yay. Well, as a reminder, you can add any questions or comments to the comment section. We will see those as we get through our live and answer those for you. If you're viewing this after the live is over, still add your questions, comments, or send us a message. We'll make sure that we can get you an answer or further information. And Brenda's going to be sharing. I'll be adding links and other resources to the comments as we go. And again, we hope you're interactive. Add your questions. We're here for you guys. All right, Brenda, so you're going to start off with some of those statistics that I agree, when I saw your notes, I was quite shocked by some.
Yes. And I've heard it said that COVID-19 is driving this mass social experiment called working from home or remote work. But actually, remote work has been around for quite a while. Some of those statistics that are really making you sit up and pay attention is that 62% of workers with a bachelor degree or more in education say that their work can actually be done from home. And the other big one that surprised me was I anticipated this to be the younger generation that would be working from home. But actually, there are more remote workers that are age 40 and older than there are under the age of 40. And employees can save more than $7,000 a year in expenses and related to employment. And so if you stop and think about, the cost of gas, especially as is going up right now, it doesn't take much to get that $7,000 savings in staying at home and working. 96% of employees say that they actually need some form of flex in their current face-to-face job. And if you think about a lot of the adult children with aging parents, maybe you're needing to run a parent to the doctor, or if you have children, there are times when you need some flex in your current face-to-face job. Professionals are 63% more likely to earn $100,000 a year or more than those who have never worked remotely. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about things that you can do to help use that statistic to help you gain remote work. And women make up 42% of the leadership in remote companies. And as I was taking this course a year ago, this past November, there was more than 95% of the class were made up of women. And I can talk more about that in a bit. The bad news is that 86% of the US workforce wants to work remotely. And currently, there's only 3% of the new job postings are transparently advertised as remote work. But the good news is that 56% of all jobs are already remote jobs. So on a case-by-case basis. And then some employers don't want to advertise that it is a remote job because of liability or logistics of hiring a remote worker. So what does that mean? That means that there might be local employment laws, especially if you're living in Iowa and you're taking a remote job that's out of state. There might be local employment laws that would maybe get in the way, or that your employer would have to figure out. Workers' compensation insurance, unemployment insurance obligations, out-of-state payroll tax obligations. So there are some reasons why there may be a remote job, but they don't advertise it as such. And according to the national legislation, the health and safety employees working from home remains the responsibility of an employer. But the employer is not obligated to do like a risk assessment on the employee's home. So there's some reasons why that number of, only 3% of the current jobs are transparently advertised as remote work. There's reasons why there's actually probably more remote jobs than what it appears. And so because of those interesting statistics, about 86% want to work remotely, but only 3% of the new jobs are posted that way. That's why this course actually exists, and it's helping you get a leg up and have a better chance of having a successful search for a job and landing a remote work. So some of the things that you may want to talk to your boss about if you're trying to negotiate a remote job, changing your current position into a remote job, would be to make sure that you build a case for it. And it's a business case, not your personal case. It's not about, they're not going to really care that much about it, how much it's going to save you in travel or save you in the cost, travel cost and clothing and car maintenance and your challenges in trying to find childcare. It's all about financial cost saving for the employer, the ability to cover different time zones, or increased in productivity. Lister's research estimates that the typical employer can save about $11,000 per year for every person who works remotely half of the time. So those are the kinds of things that you want to present to your boss if you're wanting to convert your job into a remote job. The other thing that you want to share is that you already come with the skills that are needed, the hard and soft skills needed to do that job remotely. So you're trying to show that it's not going to cost them anything to convert your job over. And when I talk about soft skills, I'm talking about initiative, decision-making skills, discipline, time management, those kinds of things that make you a valuable employee face-to-face, as well as it would carry over into your remote job. Some of the hard skills would be like the software needed to do that job remotely. Can you run the technology? Can you do Zoom? Can you use different chat types of software that are needed to work asynchronously? The next thing I want to talk about is, okay, so you land this job, you need to make sure that you balance your workspace from home. You need to set boundaries. And some of those boundaries are the same ones that you would use in a face-to-face job. Like for me, my weekends are sacred, or I schedule breaks and I walk away from the computer. Others may include a dedicated space away from the family and other activities. But it's also important to establish a routine. Do those important, tough jobs when you're at your best. For me, that's first thing in the morning. Consider dressing for work, which may also help you focus. If you get up and you get dressed and you're going to work, that's defining, okay, I'm in my work clothes, and when I'm done at the end of the day, I go put my sweatpants on. And you want to schedule time for exercise. And then, of course, take advantage of the perks from working from home. Just because you have access to your computer, 24/7 doesn't mean that you should be working all the time. You need to quit working, and you need to take time off and enjoy family and balance your life and work. So that'll give you more time with your family. So we have this course. It's called the Remote Work Course. And Extension is a nationwide organization. We are located in every single state in the U.S. And because of that, we don't have to recreate the wheel. We don't have to each state make their own remote work course. So Utah created this course, and Iowa became an affiliate of the Utah University Extension Remote Online Initiative. So that means that you can sign up for this class through Iowa, and then you will be participating with people from Utah. And there are other states that have gotten on board: Colorado, Washington, New Mexico, Texas. So you will be joining other people from all across the state, which is a wonderful experience. You learn a lot from each other. This course costs $249, and it will take you approximately 30 hours to complete over the course of a month. The participants work at their own pace to complete assignments that are due on Wednesdays. So every Thursday, participants meet for 1 hour on Zoom. So this course simulates working remotely. Employees would work independently. You would communicate using tools and platforms like Slack and email and Trello and Zoom for meetings. The course is offered for the first of each month, except in December and July. And then at the end of the course, participants can schedule time with a career coach for assistance in creating career goals, identifying jobs, working through a checklist, creating an online presence, and identifying networking opportunities. Individuals that could consider taking this class would be anyone who is wanting to convert their current job to a remote work, or wish to find remote work, would find this class of value. A remote internship could be an open door to full-time employment upon graduation from college. And it's also an opportunity to learn if this is the company that you want to work for, or if remote work is even something that you want to pursue in the future. Other individuals that have had success in taking this class would be Iowa State University Extension County staff who have identified the recovery initiative. The other thing about Iowa State Extension staff taking the class is that we all have that same base knowledge. And so we are already well practiced in the tools and the techniques for communicating and working collaboratively online. So Iowa State County staff, Iowa State University Extension County staff who have recovery initiatives that are about reviving the Iowa economy, including the farm economy. Oftentimes you'll have a spouse who can't use their college degree because they married a farmer and they are in a rural area in Iowa where that degree isn't as valued or has opportunities to be used. Well, they can work remotely. Also, initiatives that are supporting improving financial security, expanding opportunities for youth. We offer this class to anybody who is a senior in high school or older. Seniors in high school that maybe aren't interested in going on to college, oftentimes will have those technology skills available to them that will let them do an online remote job right out of high school. College students, they can take that job with them wherever they go. They could come home for the summer and live at home and not have the expense of rent and transportation to a job, and they can take that job with them wherever they go. If we're trying to engage Iowans in addressing mental health, getting a job and improving some of the stressors in your life, like getting a job, this could be part of a mental health plan. We're supporting efforts to increase access to quality childhood. So think about your members in your community that are parents and are no longer working because they can't find childcare, but they could work from home, or individuals that can't find work in their chosen field and don't want to relocate. Relocating is expensive. Farm families that are looking for additional income during less labor-intensive times of the year. Or maybe you have a family member who's immune compromised, they could work from home. Individuals who have lost their job during shutdown, college students that want to work their way through college remotely, college student wanting a remote internship without relocating. And of course, then the high school seniors that are wanting to enter the workforce right out of graduation from high school. So these are all good reasons to get yourself into this class so that you can learn all the different options that are available for remote work. And then those that complete the course can also take another class for free, and that's totally a work at your own pace. And that one helps you identify things that would eliminate your application from a pile of people that are applying for a job. And this class has you doing a lot of creating an online presence or double checking the current online presence to make sure there's nothing there that you don't want an employer to see. It walks you through step by step what you need to do to help make yourself stand out in a pile of applications. So, Leah, do you have any questions for me?
Well, I was like nodding my head the entire time as you're sharing. And some of what you talked about, especially when you talked about balancing workplace and home, I know I was having some early pandemic kind of flashbacks to some of the things that I was doing throughout that time where we extension was fully remote for a period. And I know early on, a couple of those things, I was like, my computer was home, so I was just on it nonstop. And then, had to kind of set some boundaries there of just because I can doesn't mean I have to be. Or the established routine also made me laugh because I did for a time kind of have the top half professional, the bottom half pajamas. And then I found that, you know what, my mind knows when I still have pajamas on, even if my top half is professional.
Yes.
So I was kind of giggling at that. Yes. And enjoying the advantages. I love, what you talked about and how you reminded people that some of that is taking time off. I think sometimes when you're working remotely, you have a harder time taking time off because you feel like you already are, home. So, but yeah, having those days where you still
Yes.
take that time off. Those are all
Yes.
good reminders. And that employee saving, I'll throw that back up because this one was huge in my mind, that I started thinking through, whether it's gas with a longer commute or it's those meetings that like, hey, let's go grab a coffee and have this meeting, or the lunches that all of those ways that you can cut some personal expenses down. And then you mentioned for employers having that savings of, up to $11,000, which is a huge chunk of money for one person, let alone, maybe
Right.
a team of people. So yeah, those, all of those statistics, I've got that link. I added that to the chat or to the comment section early on. So for those of you that are watching now or after we're done, if you want to access those, go ahead and find those in the comments. Also added an article, a blog from our money tip specialists about negotiating for remote work. And then also a link about tips for balancing. So, this is a long link. Gotta get a chin up there. But yeah, so if you are working remotely, full-time, part-time, or hoping to do so, understanding what you're committing to and how you can set yourself up for success. I had this on the screen as well a few times. This is a link. Go here. You're going to find all of the breakdown of how much the course costs, what your time commitment is, all of these things. Brenda did give overviews, but it's all here. And then also your emails there too, Brenda. So that way, if they do have a specific question, hit this link right here, and then that will connect you to our specialist.
Yes.
And yeah, get you some more information. So a couple questions, and I think you did cover, but I think these will be good ones to kind of make sure that we say it more than once. So the question is, what's the difference between me taking this course or not when looking for a remote position? So I'm thinking, this is on my resume or not on my resume. What's the difference of that?
Well, you don't know what you don't know. And so having a coach that can sit down and help you work through what are your career goals. You don't want to just jump at the very first job that you can find that they're going to offer you. You want to find a good fit. And so that's where this career coach, having that coach at the end, help you. The other thing is that we will point out or we will offer some online classes that you can take either for free or at a very low cost. So say that the application says it's preferred that you know how to use QuickBooks. Well, we have some access to some online classes that you could take a class on QuickBooks and help beef up that part of your resume. The other thing is that we heavily work with a company called Flex Jobs. They vet their jobs to make sure that you're not getting into a scam or a scheme. So we will help you find work through reputable companies that work closely with Utah State and help it be a very successful experience for you finding and securing a job that you like.
Yeah, that's huge value. And you mentioned this earlier, but again, if you're in a stack of 30 applicants and you're the one that shows the initiative of having this certificate and having these skills, that could be something that sets you apart from those, those other resumes.
Yes. And then the other thing that this program does is every month they have two different things. One of them is where they bring in employers that offer remote work employment. And they then it's kind of like a webinar and they talk about what they look for and what the job has, and people can log on that are interested and learn about that company. And more of these companies, as we invite them in to showcase them, then they're also then recognizing the value of that certificate. And they oftentimes, the management will take the course so that they know what anybody holding that certificate, they know the value and what it means.
Wow.
And so since Iowa's only been at this for a short time, we're trying to identify some employers that would like to be showcased through this program. And that would be an opportunity.
Absolutely. So there's definitely some benefits, right?
Yes.
Okay, we had a question come in. So Anne asked, what are students finding to be their biggest surprise about remote work as they go through this course?
I think when sitting through the videos, there's a lot of videos and they're all interviews. They're interviewing different companies, different kinds of businesses. And some of them were started at ground at ground zero as remote from day one, never ever having a building, as opposed to some of them are starting to transition and move and shift. The remote jobs tend to be more linear rather than an 8 to 5. And that's been very beneficial for some of the companies, especially if they have employees that are in other parts of the world. Rather than an 8 to 5 in the US, there's people that are working through the night. And when you get up in the morning, you see it. Yes. And then I think the other big one was just that you can negotiate, and there's lots of tips on how to do that. And this is an opportunity. This class is definitely an opportunity to test drive remote work, because we're using Slack as a communication. We do asynchronous, communicating in class, and teamwork. You're going to be given a team to work in that are from all over the United States. It's not just the people that might be in your office that's taking the class with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
Several of the extension offices have actually budgeted money to put towards scholarships to help offset the cost. And so having that conversation with your local extension office might be fruitful for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put that link in the comments too, where you can find how to connect to your local extension office.
Yes.
All right. So another question, again, I think we addressed it, but want to make sure we get this. So someone that's already working remotely, part-time or full-time, would they benefit from taking this course?
Again, I just think you can kick it up a notch, or you can learn things to be more efficient, to work more efficient. And again, that base knowledge where everybody that's in a company that has taken this course, they all know what everybody else knows. And it helps you work more efficiently. And improve communications, I think, is the number one thing I've heard from most people that have taken the class.
And that's a good point, that, if you are on a team that are working, remotely, taking it together, you're all learning those basic knowledges together, communication techniques, best practices, all of that.
Yes.
And I'm thinking too, for those that work remotely at some level, I'll speak for myself, that I've developed things that work for me. I probably still have things I could do better.
Yeah.
That learning, through this course would be a huge value for sure. So, all right. Well, I think we've gotten through our main questions. I'm going to just one more time make sure that this link, which again is in the comments, is seen. You're going to find all of the information, the overview of the course and the certificate, the financial and time that you would need to invest in order to take it. Again, Brenda, you said it's every month, not July, not December. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And Brenda's email is in this link as well. So if you have more questions than what is offered on that page, you can connect with her directly. But yeah, so, and it's, October 19th. So you've still got a little bit of time before November rolls around to kind of think through. Is there a registration deadline for the November?
Yes, there is. The November deadline, I don't think I have it in front of me. I'll have to.
It's right on that link. I can find it in 2 seconds.
There you go.
I just click it open.
Yes.
Let's see, November 1st, and the registration deadline. I can't find it. Of course.
I'll find it.
Let's see. Register sooner rather than later. We'll just say that to be safe. But if you're not sure if you've met the registration deadline or not. Oh, here we go. I found it. October 27th.
Yes.
So you still have plenty of time.
Yes.
Plenty of time to register for the November 1st start date that goes November 1st through December 4th. And you'll read, when you go to that site, you'll read a bit more about time commitments, again, financial commitments. And I will add a link to our comments here shortly with to how to find your county office so that you can connect with them directly. That if they have set aside some funds, if they haven't, you can still have that conversation with them to see if there is maybe some other local opportunities for financial support there. All right. Well, Brenda, thank you so much for taking time to join us.
Thank you.
To a larger virtual audience, it's kind of a perfect way to promote a remote work course certificate, is remotely connecting with people. So
yes.
Again, as you're watching this, we're going to end soon. So if you're watching this after the live is over, still add any questions, comments to the chat area, or you can message our page directly. We'll make sure that we get those questions to Brenda and find an answer resource for you. So we're going to close it out again. Brenda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, everyone, have a great day.